Hey guys, welcome to my vlog. So this is the chapter 10 summaries. Chapter 10 Application Layer. Applications such as browser-only gaming, chatting with the emailing friends enable us to send and receive data with relative ease. Typically, we can access the use of the application without knowing how they work. However, for network professional, it is important to know how an application is able to format, transmit, and interpret messages that are sent and received across the network. Visualizing the mechanism that enable communication across the network is made easier if we use the layered framework of the OSI model. So the application layer. The application layer is closest to the end user is the layer that provides the interface between the application used to communicate and underlying network over which messages are transmitted. Application layer protocols are used to exchange data between programs running on the source and destination host. These are many application layer protocol and new protocols are always being developed. Some of the most widely known application layer protocols include Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So, presentation and session layer. The presentation layer has three primary functions: formatting, compressing, encrypting. Or formatting or presenting data at the source device into a compatible form of the received by destination device. Compressing data in a way that can be decompressed by the destination device. Encrypting data for transmission and decrypting of data upon receipt. A session layer, as the name implies, function at the same session layer, create and maintain dialogues between source and destination applications. The session layer handles the exchange of information to initiate dialogues, keep them active, and to restart sessions that are disrupted or idle for a long period of time. Client-server model. In the client-server model, the device requesting the information is called a client and the device responding to the request is called a server. Client and server processes are considered to be in the application layer. The client begins the exchange by requesting data from the server, which responds by sending one or more streams of data to the client. Application server layer protocols describe the format of the requests and responses between clients and servers. Peer-to-peer network. In the peer-to-peer networking models that is accessed from a peer device without the use of the dedicated server. The P2P or peer-to-peer network model involves two parts: peer-to-peer networks and peer-to-peer applications. Both parts have similar features, but in practice work quite differently. In a peer-to-peer network, two or more computers are connected via a network and can share resources, such as printers and files, without having a dedicated server. Every connected end devices known as a peer can function as both server and a client. Peer-to-peer application. A peer-to-peer application allows a device to act as both a client and a server within a number same communication as shown in the figure. In this model, every client is a server and every server a client. Peer-to-peer application requires that each device provide a user interface and run background service. Some peer-to-peer applications use a hybrid system where resources sharing is decentralized, but the indexes that are point to resources location are stored in the centralized directory. In a hybrid system, each peer accesses an index server to get the location of a resource stored on another peer. HTTP and HTTPS. HTTP or Hypertext Transfer Protocol is a request response protocol when a client Typically, a web browser sends a request to the web server. HTTP specify the message types used for the communication. The three common messages types are get, post, and put. What it gets? What is get? Get is a client request for data. A client sends the get message to the web server to request HTML pages. Next is post. Post is uploads data file to the web server such as a form data. Upload resources for content to the web server such as an image. Email protocols. One of the primary services offered by the ISP is email hosting. To run on a computer or other end devices, email requires services, several applications and services as shown as in the figure. Email is a store and forward method of sending, storing, and retrieving electronic messages across the network. Email messages are stored in databases on mail server. Email clients communicate with the mail servers to send and receive the email. Mail server communicate with the other mail server to transport messages from one domain to another. So SMTP. SMTP operation. SMTP messages formats requires a message header and a message body. While the message body can contain any amount of text, the message header must have a properly formatted recipient email address and a sender address. When a client sends email, the client SMTP process connects with a server SMTP process on well-known port 25. After connection is made, the client attempts to send the email to server across the connection. When the server receives the image, it either places the message is a local account. If the recipient is local, or forward the message to another mail server for delivery. POP operation. POP is used by an application to retrieve mail from a mail server. With POP, mail is downloaded from the server to the client and then deleted on the server. This is how POP operates by default. The server starts the POP service by passively listening on TCP port or 1110 for client connection request. When a client wants to make use of the service, it sends a request to establish a TCP connection with the server. When the connection is established, the POP server sends a greeting. IMAP operation. IMAP is another protocol that describes a method to retrieve email messages. Unlike POP, when the user connects to an IMAP-capable server, copies of the messages are downloaded to the client application. The original messages are kept on the server until manually deleted. User view copies of the messages in their email client software. DNS message format. The DNS server stores different types of resources, records used to resolve name. This record contains the name, address, and type of record. Some of these record types are A. AS is an end device IPv4 address. NS is an authoritative name server. AAAA is an end device IPv6 address. Pronounces is quad A. MX is a mail exchange record. DNS uses the same message format for all types of client queries and server responses. Error messages, the transfer of resource record information between server. DNS hierarchy. The DNS protocol uses a hierarchical system to create a database to provide name resolution. DNS uses domain names to form the hierarchy. The different top-level domains represent either the type of organizations or the country of the origin. Example of top-level domains are .com, a business or industry, .org, a non-profit organization, .au, Australia, and .co, Colombia. Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. The Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol or DHCP for IPv4 service automates the assignment of IPv4 addresses, subnet masks, gateways, and other IPv4 networking parameters. This is referred to as dynamic addressing. The alternative to dynamic addressing is a static addressing. When using static addressing, the network administrator manually enters into the IP address to information on host. When a host connects to the network, the DHCP server is contacted and an address is requested. The DHCP server chooses an address from a configured range of the addresses called a pool and assign it to the host. So, server message block. A client-server file sharing protocol that describes that structure of the shared network resources, such as directories, files, printers, and serial ports. It is a request-response protocol. All SMB messages share a common format. This format uses a fixed size header followed by a variable size parameters and data component. SMB message can start up, authenticate, and terminate sessions, can control and printers access, allow an application to send or receive messages or from another device. So this is the FTP, the File Transfer Protocol. This is the meaning of File Transfer Protocol. Is another commonly used application layer protocol. FTP was developed to allow for data transfer between a client and a server. An FTP client is an application that runs on a computer that is used to push and pull data from a FTP server. FTP requires two connections between the client and the server, one for commands and replies, the other for actual file transfer. The client establishes the first connection to the server for control traffic using TCP port 21 consisting of client commands and server replies. The client establishes the second connection to the server for actual data transfer using TCP port 20. This connection is created every time this data is to be transferred. So that's all for chapter 10. I hope you learned something from my blog. So thank you for watching and listening. I hope you like it, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Again, I'm Brian, and thank you for watching. Bye.